Haven't worked on my car in literally like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So it's basically just sitting here. Started taping this up, but then I got busy with all this other crap. Ended up power washing, playing video games. So today I need to get something done. So first off, while it's nice, I'm gonna mow my lawn. I'm gonna clean this stuff up, and then I think we're gonna start messing around with the fuel tank and maybe the fuel lines. Yeah. And maybe throw down some more paint. I did a little bit right there. It's the SEM trim black. And I had done a lot of prep work. I was starting to think I need to make it perfect, and then I'm like, you know what, screw that. I'm just gonna start putting paint down. So I did. It looks pretty decent. I'm gonna scuff up more areas and maybe do a little bit more, but I'm not gonna go crazy. So I'm just gonna paint over stuff. Just bomb it. Call it good. So yeah, let me mow the lawn, clean this up. I'll be back. So here's a quick update on Caleb's wheels. This is the color that we use, which is a graphite gray pearl, really dark. We decided we're gonna repaint them. We're gonna go with this lighter gray, silver, which is a medium charcoal metallic. So we're gonna repaint his wheels with this stuff, lighter, and then gloss them over. So we'll redo them when he's back and ready to work. Alright, it's basically clean. Clean enough. Clean enough. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to trace this line down. It goes down the frame and bolts on. It's like it was the charcoal canister. It goes to the fuel tank. So I'm going to trace that line out, take it out. And then there was a few lines that looked like they were going kind of into the car. I think they were going into the back seat. So I want to pull those out. So I want to get all that. Sorry. I want to get all those lines out before I start putting in new lines. But let me get that out, and then we'll start on the next thing. Okay, there's our evap line. Big, long sucker. Okay, now let me show you what's left. So, the evap line came all the way down that side rail, up into here. Now, geez, spider webs. Now I've got these to pull out, and those two up there, because I want to clean all that out before I start putting new lines in. Don't want any of that in the way. And someone told me to look behind the back seat. So let me undo this bolt so that's ready, and then we'll take the back seat out and see where those go in. Okay, I got the back seat out. Oh my gosh. I didn't think I was going to tear down it this much. But here is where the lines go in. So just need to pull this off, and then probably just pull the lines through. I just tell you that pulling this back seat out is such a pain in the butt, or actually a pain in my back. The top part of the seat is fine, the bottom sucks. And tweak my back, sweating like crazy. Just let me note that this is not something you have to do on an LS swap. I just want all this crap I'm not using, I want it out so everything is cleaner. I don't want to deal with any of this extra stuff. I want everything that's here to be here for a reason. So let me take those 2 bolts out. I'll be right back. Okay. Unbolted. Oh yeah. Ugh. Look at this nasty thing. Huh. I didn't actually know how this was going to look. I thought that these lines would come out separately, but it's completely part of this. Huh. So, what should I do? Should I just make a block off plate, or should I put this back in? Like, I'll break the lines off and put it back in. Weird. I'd like to know how this thing works. It's got a little bit of weight to it. What should I do? Block off plate? Or put this in? That's kind of a cool spot, you know? An amp, a stereo amp would go good there. I'm sweating my butt off. It's hot and muggy in here. Let me see here. This thing is actually still good. Wonder what kind of creatures are in there. You know what? I think we're going to do a block off plate. There's no reason to put something like this back in. Yeah. We'll block it off. We'll just get a plate, screw it down to those 2 factory points, put a bead of like RTV sealant right there, and we'll just let's close it off. Let me see if I got some material for that. Okay, I can't find any sheet metal. So how good is it going to be if I use an old license plate from 1992? Yeah, we're going to do that. No one's going to see it anyways from the bottom or the top, so we'll just measure and cut this. And this will be easy because I can use some tin snips. Alright, let's go see if this fits. Letters up or down? I'm thinking up. Okay, I can't do this with one hand, so let me put this on and I'll be right back. There it is. Should I leave it like that or should I spray bomb it black? I think I'm just going to leave it for now. I would not do that if people could see it because that would have been ghetto, but I'm going to go with it. That's straight up custom. Okay. Let's take a look underneath. Oh yeah. Nice and clean up here now. Everything is cleaned out. Okay. I got no excuses to start working on the fuel lines now. Charcoal canister line is out. Factory fuel line is out. Yeah. Cool. Fuel line's the next step. Okay, I was going to start on my fuel system and I realized I don't have the right clamps. So let me just explain to you what I got so far. I've got -6 vibrant line, which is basically 3/8 line. I've got -8 vibrant line, which is basically 1/2 inch. And I've got all my different fittings. And I got my -8 10 micron filter. So basically what I have planned is coming out of the send of the fuel tank is going to be -8 line to the filter, out the filter -8, all the way until we get to right about there. Then I'm going to have like a bulkhead. At that bulkhead, I will have -8 and -6. That way, from that point, I'm going to reduce it to -6 from -8. The reason I'm doing that is because if I ever decide to go like big turbo, then I want to finish the rest of that with -8. But for now, since I'm not doing big turbo, I'm going to finish it with -6. But I'm just kind of prepping. That's why there's going to be a bulkhead connector so I can switch right there. So -8 feed right there, -6 return right there with it at the bulkhead, and then from there I'll have 2 -6 lines coming to the motor. So -8, -6, -6 fittings, -8 fittings. You can really tell the difference. Look at that size difference. -8 will be going through the filter. Then what I have that'll go, I got the fuel line. These adapt to the rails on the motor itself. You see the little plastic end right there? That goes right there. Feed and return. Feed and return. So this is the feed. This will snap onto that. But also attached to this, so it'll be this line, then this. We'll screw on the end of that, and that has the correct NPT, I think, fitting for the fuel pressure gauge. So this will screw right into that, and that'll be right on, basically right next to the fuel rail, so I'll be able to know what my fuel pressure is. So I got both those lines, got some miscellaneous fittings. I got a lot of dash 6 because that's what's going to be mostly used. And I thought I had a bunch of these, but I really don't. And I was test fitting some of these. They're different. Some say 7/16 on them. And it looks like this one that says 9/16 is the best fit for the dash 6. So I need to get more of those. And all of these are too small for the dash 8. So I need to get bigger. And then I also need to get clamps for this. So in the meantime, I'm going to get clamps for everything, and then I'll start running my line. Basically, what I'll do is I'll get the fuel tank partially lifted up into the car and make sure I have enough slack to where if I need to lower and raise the tank, I don't have to unhook the lines up top. I can unhook them once they're lowered. They'll curve. Both lines will come along this side frame rail on the car and then come up right through here somewhere. Probably either down there or right here. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to do the bulkhead, which is just going to be like some kind of angle that these will attach to. And that'll be like a splice point in my fuel system. So just in case if I ever change, like if I ever decide to go with like a low profile intake manifold with an external regulator, I can put like a fuel regulator over here, and I'll only have to change lines from the bulkhead to the regulator and to the motor. I won't have to do anything from there back. So basically everything's permanent from that point back. Dash 8 feed, dash 6 return. That's permanent all the way up to that point. From that point, I can change it as necessary to the motor or to a regulator. That motor has built-in regulator on the fuel rails, so that's why it's like that. One day I'll probably change and go to like an LS3, LS6 manifold and probably run an external regulator, which means I'll need to change the lines from the bulkhead to a regulator at that point. So I'm just trying to plan ahead. So I got most of my stuff. I got all straight fittings. I might need to get like some angled like this or some 90s, but hopefully that'll be enough. And then I got a really thin new cutoff blade for this to cut the lines. And for right now, I happen to have this old line that came with a different motor. I am going to practice doing, I'm going to take this off and practice on this line a couple times because I've actually never done AN lines. So I'm going to practice on this a few times, make sure I'm comfortable with this before I start cutting up my line, because this stuff's expensive and I don't want to screw it up. I don't want leaks. So I'm going to practice with this, and in the meantime I'll get a bunch of these ordered, these brackets for both lines, and then I'm thinking maybe next weekend instead we'll start doing the fuel line routing. Yeah, and I'll need to run actually a wire for the fuel pump too. I've already got the sending unit wires, factory one, we can reuse that. I just need to run a power wire for the fuel pump. And I should run that through that little plate we just made. I could run the fuel pump power through the car into that spot and go to the tank. I think I'm going to do that. But for now, I'm done. I'm going to practice. I just want to take a quick second to tell you that I just did a test run on this line, and these are easy. Easy. What I did is I just, like, you can watch like a zillion videos of this all over YouTube. I just taped the line, cut it real quick with this, and I actually pulled the tape off, put the red fitting over it till it's seated. Put on the blue piece, I put a little dab of oil on it, just so it started going smooth. Tighten it all the way down, and that was actually really easy. And I was worried that it was going to be a lot harder than that. So I think what my problem is that when I am not 100% sure about doing something, I'll procrastinate. And that's kind of what I've been doing on this car. is procrastinating because I know that I need to get the fuel system done, because that's like a big step before I get a lot of other stuff to start knocking out. So this was easier than I was expecting. Now I'm super stoked and excited that it's going to be time to just start knocking these out. So I think this is going to go really good now. I just want to make sure that I get some nice clamps to where it's really secure on the car, so that it's worry-free. So awesome! I'm stoked. I'm ready to get this fuel system done. This is like a big hurdle for me. I've never done this stuff before, and now that I feel like I can do this, I feel it's gonna go really well. So, stay tuned. Whatever. I don't know.